Chapter 4. Wait up, Cody! Slow down! Stop pulling! Lizzie ran after the spotted dog, who was dragging her along as he snuffled and sniffed and checked out every single object along the sidewalk. For a little dog, he was really strong. Wow, smell this! Incredible! And what about this? Is this something to eat? I'm so excited to have a new place to explore. Once Mom and Dad had agreed to let Cody stay for a while, Lizzie had stayed up late reading her puppy training book. Now it was Saturday, which was Lizzie's usual day at Caring Paws, but Lizzie wasn't going to the animal shelter. When Mrs. Dobbins had heard about the new puppy, she had told Lizzie to take the day off to get to know the little guy. So instead, Lizzie and Cody were on their way to Maria's house. My mom said she wants to meet Cody, Maria had said when she called that morning. Plus, she thinks maybe Simba could be a good influence on him. Simba is such a mellow guy. Maria's mom was blind, and Simba, a big yellow lab, was her guide dog. He was always very calm, often falling fast asleep while he lay at his owner's feet, waiting for his next assignment. But the second that Mrs. Santiago stood up, Simba would jump up too. Simba was always ready to work. He went everywhere with Maria's mom, to the grocery store, to the doctor, even to restaurants. And he always had perfect doggy manners. He did not sniff people or jump on them or bark. Lizzie agreed that he would be a very good role model for Cody. Lizzie and Maria were planning to work on their Halloween costumes and also get started on Cody's training. Since he's so young, we should only work with him for 10 minutes at a time, Lizzie reminded Maria. A puppy can't pay attention for too much longer than that, so we'll have plenty of time between training sessions. We have got to teach you to stop pulling, Lizzie told the happy pup as she rang Maria's doorbell. She shook out her arm. It was sore from hanging on to Cody. The puppy grinned back at her and wagged all over. Sure, whatever you say. Maria's mom answered the door. Simba stood next to her. When the big dog spotted Lizzie, he wagged his tail, but Lizzie didn't pet Simba. She knew that she wasn't supposed to distract a guide dog who was on the job. Hi, Mrs. Santiago, she said. This is Cody. Cody barked to say hello. Maria's mom reached down to touch the puppy. My, his fur is so soft, she said, and his little body feels strong. He must be a healthy boy. He is, said Lizzie. He's absolutely perfect. Well, except for the barking and the pulling and the shedding. He'll grow out of most of that, predicted Mrs. Santiago. He's just a puppy. Simba stepped forward to sniff Cody. Cody jumped up and started biting at Simba's neck, but Simba just shook him off. Maria's upstairs in her room, said Mrs. Santiago. She has all her art supplies out. Have fun making your costumes. Cody dragged Lizzie up the stairs and straight into Maria's room. Maria pulled Cody onto her bed for a big kiss and a hug hello, while Lizzie looked around at the mess of paints, markers, glue pens, and other art supplies. I have the coolest costume idea, Maria told Lizzie. Look, Dad found these huge cardboard tubes. She pointed to 2 garbage can-sized cylinders standing at the corner of the room. They're big enough for us to wear. Uh-huh, Lizzie said. So what's your idea? We can paint them, Maria said. We could be soda cans or soup or anything. Lizzie considered this. It wasn't a bad idea. In fact, she wished she had thought of it. But soup cans? That seemed kind of boring. Not that she would say so out loud. Lately, Lizzie had been working hard at keeping her opinions to herself. She gazed at the tubes. I've got it, she said. PB&J. We'll paint the tubes to look like jars of peanut butter and jelly. Maria laughed. Perfect, she said. I bet you want to be peanut butter, right? I don't even care. Lizzie looked down at Cody, who had decided it was time for a snooze. He was curled up, nose to tail, on Maria's bed, with the baby pink bottoms of his paws showing. Aww, we can't train him if he's sleeping. So we might as well get started on our costumes. Let's practice painting the labels on a piece of paper first, she suggested. They flipped a coin to see who would get to be peanut butter. Lizzie won, stuck a CD into Maria's player, and got to work. Lizzie had not done any painting in a long time, and it was so much fun that she almost forgot about Cody. Almost, until between songs on the CD, she heard a crunching, tearing noise from behind her. Oh no, she cried when she turned to look. Cody must have woken up a while ago because he was already well into destroying the second cardboard tube. For a moment, Lizzie was mad, but Cody looked so innocent and so cute sitting there surrounded by shredded cardboard. She just started laughing, and Maria joined in. I guess that's the end of that costume idea, Lizzie said, crumpling up her painting. Oh well, we might as well do some training. What are we going to teach him first? Maria asked. Mom says we have got to teach him to stop barking so much, so that's top priority, said Lizzie. This book had a great way to do it. First, we put him in a situation where he'll bark, like if you go out into the hall and then knock on the door. Okay, said Maria. Then what? Well, Lizzie explained most dog owners start yelling at the dog to be quiet, but that never works. The dog just thinks you're barking along with him. Instead, I'm going to wait until he stops barking for even a second and then say, "Good boy," and give him a treat. After a few times, I'll say, "Quiet," when he stops barking, and if we repeat the whole thing about 1,000,000,000 times, he might learn to stop barking when I say quiet. It had sounded pretty easy in the book, but now Lizzie wasn't so sure. Maria went out into the hall and closed the door. A few seconds later, she knocked. Cody exploded into loud woofs. Lizzie waited and waited, but the puppy barely seemed to take a breath. Finally, Cody stopped to look up at Lizzie, his head cocked to one side. "What's going on? Isn't there somebody at the door?" "Good boy," Lizzie said. She pulled a tiny biscuit. "Small, one-gulp treats are best for training," the book had said, out of her pocket and popped it into Cody's mouth. He swallowed it right down and instantly started barking again. Lizzie could see that the training Cody was going to take a while.